Okay, so I wanted to go over a few things with the Pathfinder with you all, and maybe just a couple other little things as I'm thinking of them. But let's do the Pathfinder first. So let me make a few shapes. We'll do an ellipse. I'm going to make them all different colors, and I don't like strokes very much, so I'm going to get rid of it. Polygon. We'll make him pink. I feel so much like Bob Ross when I do these. It's incredible. Make some happy little shapes. So on a different shape, let's do a happy little rectangle. Okay, so make these so that they're all interacting in some way. And if you just play around with the Pathfinder, you kind of quickly figure out what they do. I don't think mine is open, so I'm going to open it. And even the little icons here can give you a pretty good indication of what they do, but you know, these ones are going to combine things. This one, the divide, is the one that I find myself using quite a bit actually in logo design and for, I mean, any design really. So I'm going to hit this one that divides. And I think the confusing thing here that I want to show you guys is you're not seeing that it's divided, because Illustrator in all of its, and this is really a pet peeve of mine, but it likes to group things after you do this. And you've learned about grouping and how that makes things stick together. And I don't know why it wants that to be the default, but it does. So what you need to do after you use the divide, and honestly, I think a number of these, is you need to hit ungroup. So Command-Shift-G or Object Ungroup. And now we can go in and see how these bits were cut out. So that's a helpful tool for just basic illustrating. So if I wanted to draw, for example, let's get rid of these. I don't know if you guys are cat people or dog people. I'm guessing you're dog people. Everybody's a dog person nowadays. But I'm gonna make a cat because I like kitties. So, but let's do some eyes. I can't promise this is gonna be a very good looking cat, but it's gonna be a weird looking cat probably. And I will do little ears here. Actually, I'm going to use the pen tool for the ears because that's just easier for me. Use the eyedropper to grab that color. And this is fine, but I want this to be one shape. That's good practice in logo design. You don't want things all over the place. I actually want these eyes to be cut out. So for example, if I put this cat against a purple background, I want the purple to come through those eyes. I don't want them to be white. I want those to be cutouts. So in that case, I would select one at a time. So I'm going to select this circle and the big circle for the head. And I think a number of these would work. I always kind of forget which does what, which without playing with it a little, but I use the divide a lot because it does a number of things. And in that case, it got rid of my other eye. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's all about playing around. Okay, I'm going to stick with my divide and I'm going to redraw my other eye just because that's going to be the easiest for me. And again, it doesn't look like this went away because I have to regroup. Or ungroup, I'm sorry. Command-Shift-G. Cut that out. And because Illustrator is making me, I'm just going to redraw that. If I had spent a little more time, I could have figured out, I think, how to make that not disappear on me, but don't want to keep you guys. So I just cut that one out. I ungrouped by going Command-Shift-G, and now I can cut it out. And so now you see if I draw a lovely chartreuse shape. I said chartreuse. Okay, so if this happens to you, I don't know why this happens. It's another weird Illustrator quirk, but my color just went to grayscale. So you can see down here, I'm going to my color palette and going back to RGB. I don't know, I haven't quite figured out why it likes to do that from time to time. Okay, I'm going to send this to the back, Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So now my rectangle is behind everything else, and you can see it goes through there. And I forgot to delete that guy. So I can see that's transparent. And of course, if I want to add my ears to my other shape, I'm going to select all of them and click on this combine, or unite, excuse me. So now we just have one singular shape here. So that's kind of what the pathfinder is for. Delete these. A couple other things that might be helpful for you as you move forward with your logos is the expand appearance tool. So I'm going to open up a paintbrush, go to my window brushes to see my options. And again, I always say never go with the default. These ones are pretty ugly, but I'm just going to pick one of these calligraphic ones because it at least goes from thick to thin. Oh, that's a very brushy one. I must have that selected still. Don't want that. Let's go to this calligraphic here. Okay, and you can see the variation of the thickness and thinness. That is lovely. So what if I wanted to use this brush to create my cat? All right, so I've got ears, one ear. I've got one weird head, and another ear, and voila. Well, you can see I have a series of line drawings here, and they don't go together. And I can't unite them because they're strokes right now. These are strokes, and I can't fill this because if I try and fill it, it only does the one shape. So it's really hard to fill the whole thing. The best case scenario is that I draw this all in one fell swoop, but I'm not that great of an artist, so that would be hard for me. So I'm going to go to each of these. I think I can do them all at once actually, but let's just do one at first so you can see what's happening. So I'm selecting one and I'm going to go to Object, Expand Appearance. And what that did for me is it made it so this is no longer a stroke. Some artifacts in here that I could clean up later, but this is actually an outline of a stroke. So I can go in and manually adjust things here. Excuse me. So if I wanted this to be a little, all right, this is why you have layers that you lock some of them too. But yeah, you can see I can manually adjust the thickness to thinness that way. That's really nice. So I can get it just the way that I want it. And I'm going to do that with everything. Object, Expand Appearance. Now everything is now an outline of a stroke. It's no longer an actual stroke. There's still pieces though. So you might guess in your mind how I could connect these together, and that here is the Unite tool. And now we have one shape. And I still can't actually fill this because it's not a stroke. It's not something that contains a fill. I can change the color of the inside of this outline of a stroke. But one way to cheat if you want to fill this is to duplicate it. So I'm going to click it. I'm going to copy, Command C. I'm going to paste, Command Shift V. That pastes it in place. So you can't even see that I pasted it because they are stacked on each other perfectly. So in that case, oh, excuse me, that's not going to do exactly what I wanted either. Get rid of that. Gosh darn it. So ideally, I would have done that duplication before I did all that other stuff, and then I could have filled it. So my apologies for kind of forgetting about that part. But yeah, you would basically just, if you wanted to fill this, duplicate it, or just real quick recreate this shape. And it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, mine is quite rough, but then I could send that to the back and, you know, make it that color and make any little adjustments that you need to. So just some little workarounds of some things that you might be running into at this point. Sorry for me being kind of rough with that last tutorial, but keep asking these questions and I'm always happy to demo them. I know you guys are pretty much through the Lindas, but repetition is key. So you might need to see things multiple ways, or you know, just see things multiple times. And then there are things that Linda does not do. So, all right, that's it. Oh, shut up. I think 12 minutes is long enough. Open my Screencast-O-Matic and hit all done.